Hey barbecue family, Kenyatta Robinson here. Welcome back to my Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue channel. Today we're going to do a comparison video. If you're like me, you're always trying out different rubs to figure out which one is best. So today we're going to put two to the test. I've got 2 plates of beef short ribs, and we're going to season one of them with Hey Grill Hayes beef rub, the other with Meat Church's Holy Cow rub. So we're gonna find out which one of these two my family likes the best on beef short ribs. So let's get it started. What we have here are beef short ribs from 44 Farms. Some people will also refer to them as plate ribs. What we have here are the 3 ribs connected together. Now, these beautiful ribs arrived from 44 Farms and they're already trimmed pretty well. For a backyard cook, I could just take them and, throw them on the grill without doing anything, but there are a few hard pockets of fat, like right here, just in here. I want to try to take that down a little bit. I mean, again, these aren't competition style or anything, so I'm not going to go crazy with it, but the hard pockets of fat are not going to render during the cook, so I want to try to get that off. To do that, I've got my Dow Strong, I've got a boning knife. I think this will be good for the job. Alright guys, so I'm not the best with the knife skills, but I just wanted to try and get as much of the hard fat pockets off. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. So this is what we're going to go with. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the other plate, and then we'll get these seasoned and ready to get on the smoker. Alright, so we've got the ribs cleaned up. Now what I'm going to do, there's still this membrane on the back side, right? But I'm not going to worry about trying to pull that off. I'm just going to score it with my knife. So just kind of like making a tic-tac-toe board. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So next we're going to apply the rub to the bone side of the rib, so the meat side is down. And what I want to do is I want to let the rub adhere to the ribs for at least 15 minutes. And then I'm going to turn them over and do the meat side. But on the bone side, we're not going to go too heavy because obviously, there's not going to be too much good eating on that bone side, but we are going to get some flavor on there. So today we're going to use 2 different rubs for comparison's sake, because I want to figure out which one is best for my family. So we've got Hey Grill Hayes beef rub. And then we've also got Holy Cow from Meat Church Barbecue. All right, so we're gonna do we'll do the Hey Grill Hay beef rub. on this plate. Get a little bit here. Let's do a holy cow. All right, hey grill hey, holy cow. I'm gonna put these in the fridge, let them sit for about 15 minutes, flip them over, do a heavier coat on the meat side. All right, barbecue family, so I had to take my daughter on an errand, so these actually have been sitting for more than 15 minutes, which is fine. So we're gonna go ahead, flip these over, season the meat side, and I want to let these sit for at least 30 minutes. So this will give me time to get the smoker ready, and we just want to go heavier with this coat on the meat side. This is a big cut of meat, so we can go heavy on the meat side. All right, so that was the Hey Grill Hey beef rub. We're gonna do this other one with the Meat Church holy cow. All right, so this is the Hey Grill Hey beef on the left, on the right, Meat Church holy cow rub. So like I said, we're gonna let these sit for about 30 minutes, get the smoker ready, and then we'll get them on the smoker. Expect these to take at least 7 to 8 hours, maybe longer. Not really cooking to time, we're cooking to temperature. All right guys, so we have allowed the rub to sit on these ribs for a little while. It's been over 30 minutes. Also got the smoker going. We put some cooking with Fogo lump charcoal with some post oak wood chunks. Temperature is about 250 degrees. So I'm trying to keep it in that 225 to 250 range. If it goes a little bit over, I'm okay with that. So we're ready to get these on the smoker. So first up, we've got the beef rib plate seasoned with Hey Grill Hay's beef rub. So it's got a look where you can tell looks like there's a lot of garlic powder in that rub. And then right next to it, we'll put the plate that's seasoned with Meat Church's holy cow rub. It's got more of a reddish color, so it'll be pretty easy to tell these two apart. But in case I forget, Hey Grill Hey is on the left, and holy cow is on the right. So there's a better look. So my plan today is to, like I said, try to keep it around 250. I'll check on it about once an hour. You can spritz. I think I am gonna spritz if it looks like it's starting to get dry. So I will spritz with beef broth today. You can also use apple cider vinegar, or you can just use water, or pretty much any other liquid of your choice. All right guys, we'll let the ribs take on some smoke. We'll come back in about 1 hour, see how they're doing. All right guys, it's actually been about an hour and a half since I put these on the smoker. I'm gonna take my first look. So at this point, you know, bark really hasn't started to form yet. So I'm not gonna start spritzing just yet. I want to get a little bit more formation on the bark before I start spritzing. I'll come back and maybe check it in another hour to hour and a half. All right guys, these ribs have been on the smoker for 3 hours. So before I take a look at them, I did just want to make another comment about the Weber Summit Kamado. I mean, it is really good at holding temperature. I'm not using any other thermometers today. I'm just going off of the built-in temperature gauge, and I know it's not going to match whatever the temperature is at the grate level, but for a long cook like this, I'm okay with it. I'm just using the built-in thermometer, you know, as a gauge to give me an idea of what's happening inside the cooker. And really, I'm just trying to keep it, you know, in this range, you know, between 225 and 275, 250-ish. The last time I looked, it was at 250. So actually, I think I may crack open the exhaust up at the top a little bit just to, you know, pick up a few more degrees inside of the chamber. But just wanted to give you an idea. When you load this thing up, and I've got it loaded up with that lump charcoal, it can go all day, and you really don't have to do much to keep it at the temperature that you want. So let's take a look at what's happening inside. The ribs smell great, and they are finally starting to sweat a little bit, and can also see a little bit of pullback. So the Hay Grill Hay rib right here, getting a little bit of pullback. The Meat Church Holy Cow rib, you see a little bit of pullback right in here. So now at this point, you know, I'm getting a little bit of bark formation. I feel a little bit better now about spritzing these ribs with the beef broth. So let's do that. Just to keep them a little bit moist. All right. So we'll let these continue to go probably another 2 hours. When they've been on the smoker for 5 or 6 hours, I think that's when I'll use an instant read thermometer just to see how they're coming along. Once they get to around 165, 170, that's when I know that they're not going to take on any more smoke flavor. And because I did get kind of a late start, I probably will wrap these in butcher paper for the final step to get them up over 200 degrees. So we'll check back another couple of hours, make some decisions about what to do next. All right, guys, ribs have been on for 5 hours. So definitely see a lot more pullback from the bone. Not quite as much on these ribs over here. Wow, we are at 183. And 179. I had a quick thought not to wrap. I'm sorry guys, that noise in the background is my 8-month-old German Shepherd pup with her squeaky toy. There she is. So I think I am going to go ahead, wrap these in butcher paper and try to finish this cook off. I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna wrap these ribs in butcher paper, and then I'm also going to add a little bit more water to my aluminum pan here. All right, so we're 5.5 hours into this cook, and we do have the ribs wrapped in butcher paper. So not so much concern anymore about the temperature inside the chamber, although I don't want it to get too hot. So I did add some more water to my water pan. I want to get the temperature of the internal temperature of the ribs up past 200 degrees, probably looking for 203 to 205, somewhere in that range. Probably no hotter than 210. If it gets that hot, I'm okay with it. But basically that's what we're trying to do in order to make sure that these ribs are nice and tender after I pull them off the smoker and let them rest. All right, barbecue family, so we've got the ribs done. So it actually took 8.5 hours on the smoker. The interesting thing is that even though the two appeared to be cooking at different rates, by the time I took them off of the smoker, they both were at 208 degrees, basically at the same time. So again, we've got two ribs here, two plate ribs. The one on the left, again, is seasoned with Hay Grill Hayes beef rub. I don't know if we can see that. The one on the right is Holy Cow from Meat Church Barbecue. So it is late. It's 11 o'clock. Janine is a trooper. She doesn't want to be on camera, but she is here to taste the ribs. First, let me show you guys the bones as I was transferring them, because I let them sit in the Cambro for 30 minutes and then I put them here on my disposable cutting board. Bones come right out. So we know this is tender. Even though they started off looking very different based on the contents of the rub, whereas the Meat Church had more of a reddish color and the Hay Grill Hay kind of had a yellowish color based on the rub, where we end up, I mean, they basically look identical. All right, so let's cut into this and see what we got. And it looks really juicy. And also, guys, this is my first time doing plate ribs like this. I've done short ribs before where the bones were already separated. So this is kind of a nice treat. Janine is eager, so let me put that in her bowl. See what she thinks of the first one. I think I heard a mmm. Okay, here's number two. So first, can you even tell?
Yeah, I can tell the difference.
Okay, so there is
the meat is really, really tender on both. It's very juicy on both. The second rub for me is too salty. The first rub is just smooth and mellow, and it just seems to kind of kiss the meat, and it's really, really good. It just adds just enough to kind of wake it up, and it goes down so easy.
So Janine clearly likes the Hay Grill Hay beef rub the best. She says that the Holy Cow is, you said it was
Too salty.
Too salty for you.
Yeah. I mean, the meat is good on both of them. So you don't ever, for me, have to deviate from making this style ribs. I like them. They're really good, really moist, really tender. Just, it's hitting all the right buttons for me. It's just that the first rub is really, really good. It's smooth and mellow, and it makes that meat just sing. So it works for me. I really like it. Yeah, it's really good. Like, I could eat this again a couple times, like, and not get bored at all. Like, I'm gonna have some for lunch tomorrow, so save me some of that one on the left.
So I gotta say, on both of them, both are again very tender. You know, I'm very pleased with how they came out. And the technique that I used today on the Summit Kamado, I do taste more of the salt.
Yeah.
On the Holy Cow version, but it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers Janine. You know, on second thought, it probably is a little bit too much salt.
Yep.
And the fact that Janine keeps talking about it, I think is making me even more, you know, aware and sensitive to it. So let me go back and get a little bit more of the Hey Grill Hey.
Isn't that smooth? I mean, it's just, the spice is just perfect. And it doesn't interfere with the meat. It just makes the meat the star, and it works. It works for me on all levels.
I would agree with that. You're not as cognizant of the rub with the Hey Grill Hey.
Yeah.
I think you're getting more of the pure beef flavor.
And it's totally the hero.
Again, these were super tender. The bones came right off. Great flavor. Love the tenderness, love the taste. I think the winner is, for us, is Hey Grill Hey's beef rub, mostly because, you know, it didn't come across quite as salty as the Holy Cow Meat Church version, but I like that. I like those ribs too, with the Meat Church Holy Cow rub, so I think you'll do fine with either one. But if you're more sensitive to salt, maybe consider using the Hey Grill Hey beef rub for your beef ribs. So, all right guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Hopefully you picked up some tips or got some motivation. The important thing, you know, if you've got a cooker, you can do this on any cooker that you've got. If you can maintain a low and slow temperature between 225 and 275, you can do this too. So get out there and cook. Once again, I appreciate your support. Leave comments, subscribe if you haven't already. This is Kenyatta Robinson. Thanks Janine for making her cameo appearance off camera and sharing her, you know, true thoughts about these ribs and the taste. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. I think we're going to be fighting over the Hey Grill Hey. This will make a great lunch tomorrow.